術式順天青
Hello everyone, my name is Troy and welcome to Maximum Output Training. Welcome to week 1 of an official type training program. It is technically max effort upper today and we are using the Swiss arch bar like I said in the previous week of how I'm getting back into training. So for the last 3-ish weeks, I had one deload where I took completely off and then I had an active recovery for about 2 weeks working on form, technique, still working with a bum shoulder, but using light weights, but just trying to get back in the swing of things of lifting and working out. And then now it is officially back on program to some extent, just not going super balls to the wall or doing the same intensity that I was doing before. So for the next 1 to 2-ish weeks, I want to say, maybe stretch it out to 5 weeks. The plan is for the first 2 weeks, it's kind of like an acclimation type phase. I'm throwing like random terms here for some people. It's basically just me ramping up the volume from the active recovery and then slowly transitioning back to the intensity I was doing before. So instead of like, for example, working right to my dumbbell flat press of 80 pounds, this week and the next 2 weeks will probably be about 55 pounds. And during the active recovery weeks was 35 pounds. So I'm jumping up 20 pounds for 55 pounds. So that's a little spoiler for the accessory in the future. And then in the next, and the 3 weeks afterwards will probably be about 65 to 75 pounds. And then I'll kind of just like work my way up. But we're going from 35 pounds the last 2 weeks to 55 pounds this week. And then we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. Because I really don't want to jump from 35 pounds right to 65 pounds. I think that's a little bit of a jump. But since I was working with 25 pounds, for example, now we're going to work with 55 pounds. So regardless of that, it is max effort upper. We are using the Swiss arch bar today. We are going for a top set of 5, seeing how it works on the shoulder. I kind of hit myself. Sorry there, guys. And yep, we still roll in here. We are going to be using the super wide grip. So this grip right here. And going for a top set of 5, like I said, to not go super balls to the wall, but also get back in the swing of things of max effort upper. We're going to see how it feels on my shoulder and then go from there, because usually I would do a barbell type accessory right after max effort work. But since I'm limited now because of my shoulder, straight bar stuff is almost out the window for the time being until I can kind of figure out positioning and see if this starts to heal a little bit more. And it's been almost 1 whole month, roughly. Nope. A little over a month, but I want to say about like 4 to 6 weeks. I haven't been keeping tabs on my shoulder, but it's slowly starting to feel a little bit better, maybe like 1% better through the last few weeks. But for now, we're going to start warming up, see how this feels. And the weird thing about this grip here on the wide grip, I'm kind of like going into kind of weird tangents. But when I start warming up, it's going to be a little bit weird. But the issue, or I don't want to say the issue, the thing about the super wide grip, here, I will have to touch a little bit lower on my chest so I can actually touch my chest, because if I go bring it up to how I normally would with a straight bar, I won't touch my chest and I can feel a super nice deep stretch in my pec, which is nice, but it's also uncomfortable and it's not something I'm used to, so I have to be careful with positioning. But if I drop it a little bit lower to pretty much the top of my ribs here, I can actually touch and go. So let's start warming up. 8. Okay, I just forgot that to put my 10-pound bumper plates on, because the bar is 25 pounds and it felt super light, like I could barely touch my chest. So I'm gonna fix that and then warm up again. All right, there's only 20 pounds more, but I could feel a little bit different. I could get into positioning a little bit better, and I could actually touch my chest, probably because there's actually weight on the bar. So I'm going to rest a little bit, and I'll see you for the next warm-up. It's going to be 95 pounds, nothing exciting, so I'll chat to you then. 95 pounds on the bar. I'll probably do about 5 to 8 reps, and then probably do 5s all the way up to my top set of 5. What I learned from my max effort lower, which I did a top set of 5 conventional, and I got 315 pounds. Still sore, and I've had DOMs for legs in a very long time. So probably about 1 month. So it felt nice, and I didn't have to go super balls to the wall or train excessively hard to get that stimulus of soreness the next day. So that was nice. So I'm kind of in the right direction here. And what I learned from the max effort lower is I have to change my warm-ups going forward in terms of this like little acclimation type period for the next 1 to 2 weeks. So normally I would do bar 95, 135, and 165, and then do singles all the way up from like 185, 205, 215, 225 is normally how I would jump in regards to my bench for like top singles. But with how my shoulder is, I will have to, and I'm still easing back into it because of acclimation. I will probably do smaller jumps, which I did for max effort lower. So we'll just have to play it safe, play it by ear a little bit, and then go from there. Because on max effort lower, I did, for deadlifts, I did a plate, 2 plates, 255, 275, 295, and then I went right to 315, where I normally would do 1, 2, 3 plates and then just go. So luckily I did that because now I'm not hurt, I'm just sore in a good way. Anyways, I'm rambling. 95 pounds, 5 to 8 reps, see how it goes. Woo! Felt nice. Like, I don't know, I have to play it by ear, by shoulder, because for 95 pounds, I can feel in my shoulder, but it doesn't feel like super painful. I feel just something there. So I will have to definitely ease into bench. And yeah, see how it goes. 115 next, and then I'll see you in a little bit. 115 on the bar, let's see how it goes. I wrapped my wrists just in case, just because I found out on Saturday, my dynamic effort upper, that if I straighten my wrists a lot harder and try to stack my wrists, the pain pretty much in my shoulder goes away. But it feels super awkward, I guess, because I cocked back my wrist just a smidgen. So really trying to focus on kind of like straightening them as best as possible. And hopefully the wrist straps or wrist wraps will help with that. So 115, 5s all the way up. And I want to hit at least 165 for 5 today. Woo! That, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with my hand and wrist position. That felt super awkward. It felt like I was going to lose the weight. So maybe just grip the shit out of the bar. And by me gripping it, I'll like physically change my hand position that way, because I don't know. Usually I just kind of let it sit here and that feels nice. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. 135 next. All right, 135. I'm slowly dragging ass here because I am like very weary of my shoulder and I don't want to piss it off anymore. I know I should be like easing a little bit more into this, but I'm very stubborn, and that'll probably be my own downfall because I don't listen to myself a lot of the time when it comes to training, because I just kind of want to get back into the swing of things. But to be honest, this is probably the most tamed I've ever been in terms of like injury stuff, because my shoulder, this shoulder is probably the longest lasting injury that is slowly healing. And I had a back injury that lasted for like almost a year and a half to almost 2 years. But it was just like I could feel it every time I moved. So I could actually feel it as I was lifting. But if I braced my core for like squat and deadlift, the pain would pretty much not be non-existent. But if I did low bar squats, for example, I would then feel it the most versus like a deadlift. So I could do mostly everything except low bar squats, because you're kind of hitched over like this, and then you coming up, you're even more hitched over if the weight gets heavier. So, but I feel my shoulder on almost everything. I probably should just get rid of barbell bench press for like next few months and just do dumbbell stuff because dumbbells do not affect my shoulder a whole lot. But I still want to get strong, you know what I'm saying? So whatever. 135 for 5. To be honest, I still think I'm setting up a little too high on the bench. And instead of pressing up or back a little bit, I'm still pressing forward. So I don't know, dog. It's all fucky. 155. See you for that. Belt is on. 155 is on. I think I'm starting to reach the top set of 5 here. I'm basing it around my shoulder pain, not versus how exhausted central nervous system wise I am. So still trying to play it safe, but also I kind of want to push it a little bit. Know what I'm saying? Belt is on, and I'm going to see if I can set up a little bit lower and see if that helps with positioning. If I can press back versus like up and forward towards you guys. So I'm trying to push back kind of like in a J formation towards the squat rack. All right, let's do this. That felt fucking awful. You know what? I'll probably call it here. 155 for top set of 5. That's fucking horrendous. But yeah, I'd rather not do that. And then for the next barbell type accessory, we're gonna do 70% of 155 and do 5 sets of 5 and see how that goes. Truth be told, I don't even know why the hell I put my belt on. I didn't even brace properly. That whole top set was just awful. And I was gonna go for 165, but if you kind of saw from like the 3rd or 4th rep, I moved my feet a little bit. Yeah, I was starting to hesitate because my shoulder just felt off. And yeah, I decided just to call it there. Be safe rather than sorry. I don't know why I couldn't get the quote out, but here we go. All right, we're gonna do some back off sets, see how these feel. We're gonna do 70% of back offs. So this is just not anything new in terms of, for myself, when I did conjugate, I usually did like a top set and did back off sets, but then I kind of switched to another barbell accessory, but I can't really do any straight bar work right now. So we are working with 110 pounds for sets of 5. All right, I think I did 6 there. Yeah, I need to start taking better care of the shoulder. I'm doing as best as I can with my warm-ups and rehab type stuff. Arm circles, arm swings, and pour the cups. Doing about 80 reps 3 times a day. So I don't know. I'll go from there. I'll finish the rest of my sets and I'll catch you for the next accessory. All right, arch bar done. 110. The back off sets for sets of 5. I definitely will need to relearn how to bench, because if I put it kind of too close to my low pecs and push back, it puts pressure on the shoulder. But if I go towards top of my ribs, kind of like this area versus like this area, by moving it down about 2 or 3 inches, it's always 3 inches, but whatever. Moving roughly from the low chest nipple line to like top of the ribs, kind of right here. It feels pretty good on the shoulder, and instead of me trying to push back, just pushing straight up and down, feels nice on the shoulder. But I won't realize and practice that more on dynamic effort upper. And to be honest, after my last set, I did one more set, but with the middle grip, and see how that felt. And actually felt pretty nice with my shoulder. And I changed my setup just a little bit here. Instead of me going up, down, I kind of just to get my arch, instead of like lifting my head, putting it back on my, on the bench. So instead of kind of lifting my head and then kind of driving down like this and then getting into position from here, all I do is kind of like lift my butt, keep my head on the bench, drive my traps into the bar, and then proceed to do my whole setup that way. And that also felt nice on the shoulder. So like I said, I will have to relearn how to bench. But whatever, I'll figure it out later. Next, dumbbell flat press. We are doing 55 pounds for sets of 8. And we, like I said at the beginning, up the weight 20 pounds from 35 pounds from the active recovery. This is me acclimating back into the heavier weights. 55 pounds will probably be moving pretty easily. And then after these 1 or 2 weeks, I'll jump up to 65 and then start progressing my way from 65 pounds. Now, the idea for my accessories going forward is, yes, get stronger at them, but really emphasize more hypertrophy muscle building techniques and stuff like that versus just trying to add 5 pounds and get stronger. So I'm trying to like dial back my ego and my mentality of I need to get stronger at this, so therefore I'm making progress, but also 1 rep means also progress as well. So I'm trying to use accessories to build my physique, and then the barbell movement is to get stronger at the core big 3 movements, squat, bench, and deadlift. So I'm trying to not put much emphasis on weight on my accessories, but barbell accessories emphasizing weight and working within like the hypertrophic range of like 5 reps. So just trying to build some muscle, man. Here we go. Sets of 8, 55 pounds, dumbbell flat press. 6. Okay, that felt pretty good. I think that's the right amount of weight and reps that I'll be doing. And then hopefully next week, I'll bump it up to maybe 9 or 10 reps and just keep the weight here. And then we'll go from there. See you for the next and probably the final accessory. Last and final exercise of the video, I completed my tricep stuff, did some overhead extensions and some dumbbell skull crushers, finished chin-ups, and that felt really odd on the bicep because 2 summers ago, I strained my bicep. So I don't know if I tore it, but now it's super weak where it kind of like ties into where the elbow is. So where I bend at the elbow, come where it ties here. I don't know. It's just like, if you can kind of see it, well, when I flex and stuff like that, this is kind of a little bit more smaller. And then this one kind of like stretches out more. But it feels very weak and it feels like it's gonna tear. But I don't know if I tore it or strained it or something. That's when I did like a little bit wider than the shoulder width apart neutral grip pull-ups, and something just kind of like, it just like pulled, and then it's been weak ever since. So the reason I do chin-ups for this training cycle is pull-ups were getting a little bit boring with double overhand. And when I'm at the stretch or at the bottom, it really pulls on my shoulder where it feels like it's just super painful. And if I do chin-ups, it feels a little bit better on the shoulders, but it feels odd on the biceps. So hopefully chin-ups will help strengthen my bicep a little bit, and we'll see how that goes. Anyways, chin-ups done. Did sets of 6 of body weight. Felt pretty good, to be honest. Felt a little bit nicer on the shoulder than regular pull-ups. Now we're on to some one-arm rows, and I've been doing one-arm rows for a very long time. And I don't feel like I need to switch them out anytime soon because I actually still enjoy them. But the only thing I'm changing is the stance of my one-arm rows. So normally I would have the bench here and I would be standing bent over. But this time around, I'm gonna put my knee on the bench, probably to, to give more stability in my rows. And maybe that'll give a little bit difference to building my back. Because if I was hunched over and double feet on the ground and just bent over and doing single arms that way, it felt nice, but I also felt like I was using a little bit of body English, which is fine. But I felt like I was getting really bored of them towards the end of maxing out last year. So I think just by changing it up, putting knees on the bench, which I haven't done in a few years, Might change the stimulus just a smidgen and see how that goes, because now that my knee and hands are both on the bench, I have more stability and more rigidity. Rigidity, is that a word? I guess if it's not, it is now. Within the movement to really isolate my back. We'll see how that goes. So for now, I'll probably be, probably it looks like I'll be twerking in front of you because I'll be facing that way. So we're gonna do 55 pounds, sets of 8. Before the end of maxing out, before I maxed out, I was playing with 70 pounds. So obviously still acclimating to the weight, but I think 55 pounds was, is gonna be the right amount. So 1 arm rows, knee on the bench, sets of 8 per side. 4, 5, 7. Woo! That felt pretty good. Seems like 55 pounds will be my weights for dumbbell flat press and for 1 arm rows. Felt a nice stretch there. 8 was a good starting point. I will have to clean up my form and technique for 1 arm rows. Just because I haven't done knee on the bench for quite a few years. I've always been standing bent over for 1 arm rows. So as the weeks go by, hopefully it cleans up. And like I said, the 55 pounds seems to be a good starting weight for 1 arm rows, especially for dumbbell presses. It was a little bit of a struggle for sets of 8. So over time, I'll up the reps. And like I said in the previous clip, I'm not going to worry about weight so much for accessories. I'll worry about weight for the barbell movements, the core movements, squat, bench, and deadlift, not as much bench. And then for the accessory stuff, focus on more quality reps, sets, form, and technique, and then slowly ramp up weights when needed to be. And hopefully I can build some muscle that way in 2025. So that's it. That's all. That's the video. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you want some online coaching, there's some stuff in the description below. And yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at maximumoutput_training. I try to upload daily reels for educational and entertainment purposes. And yeah, join me next week for another training vlog. I'm not too sure what it's going to be, but until then, have a great day, guys. Peace.